November 2017 military coup sent into retirement Zimbabwe's long-term ruler Robert Mugabe, paving way for the ascension to the throne of his long-term protege Emmerson Mnangagwa on 24 November 2017. On 30 July 2018, Zimbabwe held its first post-Mugabe election, which tragically turned bloody when the Zimbabwe National Army gunned down 7 civilians as it tried to clamp down on post-election protests. This led to an international outcry and forced Emmerson Mnangagwa to appoint a 7-member commission of inquiry led by the former president of South Africa, Kgalema Motlanthe. Among other things, the Motlanthe Commission recommended that the process of national dialogue be initiated to deal with deep-seated issues affecting Zimbabwe. The call for national dialogue became a national chorus from civil society, business, churches, and the international community. This was made worse by the biting economic situation, followed by the 14 January 2019 fuel protests that were met with state heavy-handedness, in which 17 people were reportedly killed. It is in this context that we have begun this series of dialogue sessions aimed at developing a set of principles, processes, and foundations for an effective and sustainable dialogue from an African experience.
Could you just talk among yourselves, just the nature of the Zimbabwean spirit that you encountered since the cyclone?
Showed us what Zimbabweans are capable of doing. But one of the things that we have discussed is we are now worried in terms of saying how do we build on that so that the collectiveness, the togetherness, the Ubuntu that we showed in terms of our response continues to grow, and we build on that instead of going back to our default positions of polarization.
I want to emphasize this because this spirit can be the cement of our universe. It can be the glue that holds our country together. But for it to be sustainable, as Ma'am was indicating that we are afraid of going back, it has to be sustainable. For it to be sustainable, it has to be a spirit which is all-inclusive, which respects the dignity of everyone, and which is focused on cultivating the common good. These were held as national events, and yet they proved to be less than truly national. They demonstrate how complex the conditions for national dialogue are. They illustrate the following points about Zimbabwe. First, the national dialogues are useful in cultivating the necessary virtues for engagement and dialogue. So they are not useless, but they have not been comprehensive. But they are places where virtues, by the way, virtues are those qualities of humanity that we want to cultivate, that will be able for us to be worthy of dialogue. Secondly, while these dialogues are less than complete, they also demonstrate the limitations that come out of these deep-seated historical issues that need to be dealt with. The country is still divided on many fronts, including gender, generational, regional, economic, political. We need more mini-national dialogues to begin to gather and to develop national positions that could inform what we can respond to in terms of gender, in terms of our politics, in terms of our economics, and in terms of our generational issues. Since 1890, we have learned how to fight, how to destroy, how to divide. That's our experience, our social experience. That's why it's very difficult. So we need to have platforms for learning how to dialogue, and these various dialogues will be important. Separating economic from cultural and political issues and dealing with them as if they are separate and in peaceful manner will not work. It has to be a long-term, comprehensive approach. The spiritual must deal with the fact that in the long term, many Zimbabweans feel alienated from society, from the economy, from each other. And this is because Zimbabwe as a nation state has always been, since 1890, monopolized by a few. It has always been, since colonialism, a fort, a laager, protecting some against others. In other words, history should not be understood as proving the exclusive virtues of one group of people against the exclusive vices of another. Any attempt to write a narrow history of the country that ignores the reality of various groups and languages is a violent act that will not facilitate dialogue. Number two, another value that I think are important for this dialogue to be genuine is taking an option for the impoverished and marginalized. Discernment means also keeping track of who is enjoying the benefits of history and who is bearing most of the social and political cost and burden.
Countries do not start dialogues because they're in a crisis. Countries get into crisis because they do not dialogue. And I tried to define dialogue. I know there are many definitions that are coming up, but this is my personal. I see a national dialogue as a goal and a process. So I agree with you again. It's a process. It will take long. It's also a goal in which a series of mutual conversations, you call it the mini dialogues, right? Mutual conversations are held nationally with the aim of building relationships, strengthening existing relationships, or repairing broken relationships towards a mutually agreed new way of socially, economically, and politically relating in the future that benefits everyone. See, we want dialogue, we demand dialogue, dialogue this, and yet they don't even allow dialogue in their political formations. So how can they have dialogue with those outside and they don't practice dialogue within? Do they know what they are talking about? So we need to get to a situation where we agree what we want to dialogue on, but we also want to agree on the process. Even in the vernaculars, what will be the equal weight to a dialogue? I'm expecting my mother at one point, she will call me and say, today I'm not at home. If we don't have a clear and agreed agenda, then that's the end of the dialogue anyway. What are the key issues that are facing the country that we should put at the table? Another aspect that I found very interesting, and I got this from South Sudan, it was quite topical, transparency and public participation. If a dialogue is held behind closed corners and people are just told that, at this dialogue, this is what came out, people will tell you, no, that was a ZANU-PF meeting, not a national dialogue or an FDC meeting. So the transparency is linked also to should also be an agreed mechanism of the dialogue outcome. There must be a plan. So I can go on and on. But as a Zimbabwean who lives outside Zimbabwe, it's so painful to be pitied by people who I should be pitying. You know, you lose a sense of being. And sometimes you keep quiet. Not because you can't respond, but you know that they don't know you. We can be better. And this country is a very beautiful country. And the potential is always there. I don't know why that switch over at personal level, at family level, at political level, I can go on and on. And those are some of the bad things that we learned from Robert Mugabe. I'm sorry to say. You inherit a divided country along racial lines in 1980. By 1982, the country was divided along Shona Teveli. By 1995, it was urban rural. By the time he was removed, it was Sesu unconquerable. So we have a big task at hand to rebuild our social fabric towards a prosperous country. I say this for the good of this country because I'm Zimbabwe. Thank you.